Nobody's talking about this, but they should be. Because what just happened between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj? It's not just another celebrity feud, it's a cultural earthquake that's shaking the entire hip-hop scene. For years, people thought the storm had passed.
This Nicki Minaj versus Cardi B feud doesn't need to be taken to the booth. It needs to be taken to therapy at this point. Last night, the two rappers continued to talk about each other's children on the timeline, now penning backhanded apologies to their respective kids for their actions. Cardi said that she hopes Nicki goes to rehab, and Nicki said that one day Cardi, her sister, and the rest of her family will be, quote, brought to their knees for what they tried to do to her son. So let's just take a second to zoom out here, right? If you enjoy watching celebrity drama unfold on the timeline, that's your prerogative. But it gets to a point where you have to realize that this back and forth between these two artists has gone well beyond the confines of just being messy. Nicki Minaj has now demonstrated a traceable pattern of going beyond the confines of competitive rap shit-talking. When she was going back and forth with Megan Thee Stallion after Meg brought up her husband's history as a sex offender on Hiss.
The Queen and the Barty gang boss had supposedly buried the hatchet. But just when everyone relaxed, the unthinkable happened. It started quietly, a few cryptic tweets, subtle shade on IG stories, and a suspiciously timed diss track snippet. Fans thought it was coincidence, until it wasn't. Behind the scenes, the tension had been building for months. Private DMs leaked. Studio insiders whispered about a massive betrayal. Even label executives were forced to pick sides. The world didn't notice it right away, but those who did could feel that something dark was about to explode. Cardi had been teasing a comeback that'll make the internet stop breathing.
She immediately retaliated by bringing up Megan's deceased mother in IG Live rants and hurled nasty insults at SZA online a few weeks ago, seemingly out of nowhere. And for the past few weeks, she's been going on objectively bizarre rants on social media, calling out Jay-Z, Roc Nation, and industry executives who she believes have been trying to stunt her success. And even if you believe there's some legitimacy to Nicki's conspiracy tweets, or that she has only been acting in retaliation to artists subbing her first, you shouldn't be enabling her behavior online, especially if you consider yourself a super fan of hers. This latest back and forth with Cardi B is just a grim reminder that even the most loyal of fans seem to care more about the spectacle of the public fight rather than the condition of the fighters. I'm not here to speculate on Nicki Minaj or Cardi B's mental or emotional health, but whatever's happening right now is not healthy, and it is not hip-hop either.
Nicki, meanwhile, had been radio silent, too silent. Like a queen planning her next chess move. Then, boom, one viral moment changed everything. One performance, one verse, one look, and the internet caught fire. The feud that was dead and buried suddenly came back to life. But this time, it's way more personal. Because this isn't about music anymore. This is about legacy, loyalty, and revenge. It all started on a random Friday night. Cardi was performing live, high energy, flawless look, crowd going wild, when she dropped that line. A line that fans instantly recognized as a jab.
I personally don't want to hear any diss songs from Nicki or Cardi anymore, and I hope no real violence comes from their feud either. Look, it's more important to be human than to be hip-hop, especially when your so-called GOAT might be going through some real shit that you're enabling by retweeting the madness. For Complex, I'm Jordan Rose. Peace.
Not subtle, not vague, direct. It was a remix verse that hadn't even been officially released yet, but within minutes, Twitter was on fire. Did she just diss Nicki again? Clips were everywhere. Reaction videos, memes, edits comparing lyrics. And then, silence. Nicki didn't post, didn't tweet, didn't comment. But that silence? It was louder than any response. Because the Barbs knew exactly what that meant. She was watching, calculating, waiting for her move. Hours later, things got worse. A leaked behind-the-scenes video showed Cardi laughing with her team, allegedly mocking one of Nicki's recent flops. Fans slowed down the clip, analyzed lip movements, broke it frame by frame. The internet turned into a full-blown investigation. By morning, Nicki's old track Roman's Revenge mysteriously started trending again, and Barbs began flooding Cardi's comments with clown emojis. Then came the bombshell. Nicki dropped a surprise verse on a new collab, and she didn't hold back. The bars were icy, cutting deep, referencing plastic crowns and borrowed flows. Fans connected the dots instantly. That was it. The Cold War turned nuclear. Every blog, every podcast, every gossip page lit up. TikTokers were analyzing each lyric like it was a political speech. Cardi went live that same night, and for the first time, she didn't hold back either. This wasn't industry shade anymore. This was personal war. The moment Cardi's live ended, chaos took over. Timelines flooded, fan pages went to war, and YouTube commentary channels smelled blood in the water. Every second clip was about the feud. Nicki destroyed her. Cardi ended the queen. People weren't just watching, they were choosing sides.
I need to say something. I need to say something about this Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, going back and forth on internet bullshit. Okay? Somebody has to be the voice of reason. In fact, I was a co-host on a show called Voice of Reason. Okay, so somebody got to do it. Okay? Y'all, folks, ladies, this is not fabulous at all. At all. Do you know how embarrassed I would be if my mama was arguing with a bitch on the internet? If my mama was in a rap beef with Patti LaBelle, I'd feel embarrassed. If Claire Huxtable and my mama was going back and forth, calling each other's bitches and telling each other's business, and then bitch, you doing all this on the internet, you got the nerve to tell me to go to school, bitch, I'll slap you. And I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't listen to shit you tell me to do. If you on the internet arguing with some goofy bitch about things that don't really matter in the world. Why? Because we are all finite. Everybody, all of us, y'all, me, all of us, we're finite, okay? We're alive right now, but this can end for everybody. So knowing that and keeping that in the back of your mind, none of any of this other shit is important. Bitch, just make some music. It's not cute. It's not a good look.
The Barbs went on a digital rampage. Hashtags like hashtag Nicki the Queen trended worldwide within an hour. Memes mocking Cardi's lyrics flooded X and Reddit. Meanwhile, the Bardi gang fought back just as hard, exposing Nicki's old interviews, past drama, even resurfacing shady DMs from her inner circle. It wasn't just fans anymore, even celebrities started reacting. A few rappers posted cryptic emojis. One pop star liked Cardi's post. Another quietly unliked Nicki's. Every move, every follow, every double tap became evidence in the biggest internet trial of 2025. Reaction videos started hitting millions of views overnight. Commentary YouTubers made full timelines of the Cardi vs Nicki 2.0 saga. People were making documentaries in real time. And then came the wildest twist, a viral clip from an after party. A shaky camera phone recording caught a heated argument between two female rappers wearing suspiciously familiar outfits. The video didn't show faces, but fans were convinced it was them. Even though neither Cardi nor Nicki confirmed it, that clip broke the internet. Is this real? Was that staged? Who threw the first word? Nobody knew the truth anymore. But one thing was clear, this feud had evolved beyond diss tracks. It was now a full-blown cultural event. And as the internet burned, both women were plotting their next move, one in silence, and one in rage. When the dust started to settle, something strange happened. The industry got quiet. Too quiet. Bloggers who had been posting hourly updates suddenly went silent. Certain tweets got deleted. A few gossip accounts mysteriously disappeared. And that's when fans began asking the question no one wanted to touch. What if this wasn't just about Cardi and Nicki?
Listen, Nicki versus Cardi got really nasty and really ugly and really dark fast. I'm not here to defend anybody. Once you start calling kids roaches and monkeys and calling them autistic and saying that they're autistic because their mother wouldn't stop doing that while she was pregnant with them. Once you start doing all of that, listen, I don't want to be involved, okay? I can't defend it either way. But with that being said, there are some notes that I took, and I'd like to go over those notes. First things first, after Cardi B and several female rappers like Remy Ma and Queen Latifah came together and held a funeral for Nicki years ago, after doing all of that, I really can't be mad at how Nicki responds. Like, she can respond however she wants to respond because they did that. That was too far in itself. My next note, Cardi B tried to tell Nicki Minaj that she needs to seek help and go to therapy. Cardi B is literally one crash out away from needing a straitjacket her damn self. Okay? We heard that audio the other day. She doesn't sound well. She doesn't sound well. So why are you trying to tell somebody else that they need to go to therapy? You go to therapy! And anger management while you're at it. Next up, the double standards from the fans. Okay? I don't know who started talking about children first. Okay? I don't know who called whose child a name first. I don't know. I can't keep up with the chronological order of those tweets. But what I do know is neither one of those ladies should have been calling each other's children names. Okay? The issue that I want to comment on, the fans and their double standards. How are you mad at Nicki for calling Culture ugly? And I think she called her a monkey and a child. How you mad at her for calling her that, but you're not mad at Cardi for calling Nicki's son autistic and saying what she said about Nicki's son? Like, if you're mad about the children being brought up, then you should be mad about the children being brought up. I'm mad about both of them bringing children up. like that, in that way. You know what I'm saying? In that way. If you mad about it on one side, it's a double standard for you to not be mad about it on the other side and to think that, oh, well, she ain't saying nothing wrong. It's true what she said about Papa Bear. That's true. What? And same thing for the Barbs. Y'all can't be mad that she said what she said and then not be mad that Nicki said what Nicki said. Neither one of them should have said what they said about them kids. Point blank, period. I also don't like how the media is reporting about this whole feud. If you put in...
Reports started circulating that behind the scenes, label executives were using the feud as free promo. Both artists dropped new singles around the same time, and guess what? Streams skyrocketed. Every headline, every meme, every fan war was feeding straight into the numbers. Some insiders claimed that this beef was being strategically kept alive to benefit everyone but the artists themselves. It wasn't just rivalry anymore, it was marketing. But then, another layer unraveled. Rumors started spreading that both women were offered major brand deals and media appearances, but only if they played into the drama. Certain fashion houses allegedly pulled offers after Cardi's comments about Nicki resurfaced. Others quietly backed Nicki, hoping to appear on the winning side. It was messy, political, and borderline manipulative. Even producers who'd worked with both rappers started hinting that someone up top wanted this narrative to keep spinning. One even said, "They're not enemies, they're investments." That line hit different. Because for years, fans believed this was personal, now it looked corporate. Still, both Cardi and Nicki seemed to know exactly what was happening, and they were playing the game better than anyone. But what happened next? Let's just say one of them decided she'd had enough of being a pawn, and she flipped the script in a way nobody expected. When everyone thought this feud was spinning out of control, one of them went quiet, not defeated, but calculating. Nicki. After weeks of chaos, she didn't post a rant, didn't drop a diss track, didn't even comment. Instead, she dropped a move, a collab announcement with one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. No teasers, no drama, just one post that broke the internet in minutes. That silence? It wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Within hours, Nicki was trending again, but this time, not for the feud, for music. She'd taken all that noise, all that hate, and turned it into the loudest promo campaign of her career. And fans couldn't deny it, the track was fire. Meanwhile, Cardi wasn't staying quiet either. She went on live, but this time, the energy was different. Calm, confident. She didn't name names, but she made it clear, she was done letting others control her narrative. Within a week, she teased her own project, a raw, emotional EP inspired by everything she'd been through. It wasn't just a response, it was a reset. Suddenly, the internet started shifting. People weren't arguing about who won the feud anymore, they were talking about who played it smarter. Nicki had turned controversy into control. Cardi had turned pain into power. And for the first time in years, the two biggest names in rap were commanding headlines on their own terms. But just when it looked like peace might finally be possible, one unexpected move reignited everything. Just when fans thought the feud had reached a truce, the ground shifted beneath everyone's feet. Late at night, a mysterious clip surfaced in private Telegram groups. No official sources, no confirmation, just a video titled Red Bottom Confession BP4. The footage was from a Cardi B studio session. Fans who got early access claimed it showed her speaking in a tone that sounded cold, almost calculating. They play dirty, I play digital. You can't bully me when I got the receipts. Every word felt deliberate, like a chess move meant to provoke and intimidate. Within minutes, the clip was everywhere. Reddit threads exploded. Gossip blogs speculated, did Cardi orchestrate the leak of Nicki's footage? Or did she simply know it would happen? And then came a bombshell from an anonymous industry insider. They claimed multiple accounts tied to both leaks were traced back to overseas servers, hinting at potential hacking, blackmail, and even financial manipulation. Cyber experts were brought in, and for the first time, fans realized this might not just be a feud, it could involve criminal levels of sabotage. Nicki's team denied any wrongdoing, but whispers persisted. Lawyers reportedly contacted former stylists, assistants, and even producers, trying to trace the source. Meanwhile, Cardi posted, then quickly deleted, a chilling tweet, "When you dig graves, make sure you got enough room for two." Fans debated endlessly. Was it a warning? A threat? Or proof that this feud had crossed into something dangerous? The public only saw the headlines, but insiders knew this was far from over. Both stars were now not just battling each other, but navigating a web of manipulation, betrayal, and exposure from within their own circles. And as the weekend approached, everyone braced for what seemed inevitable, Phase 3. A showdown that could shatter careers, reveal secrets, and prove once and for all that in this world, nothing stays private, and no one is untouchable. By the time the weekend hit, the internet was pure chaos. Fans were divided, theories ran wild, and headlines screamed of betrayal, sabotage, and hidden agendas. Nicki's official social media went silent, while Cardi's streams kept climbing, each number fueling speculation. Industry insiders leaked bits of information suggesting that Nicki's team had started a quiet investigation, hiring private investigators and contacting digital forensics experts to trace the leaks. Whispers claimed subpoenas were ready for gossip accounts, former assistants, and even ex-stylists. Meanwhile, Cardi's camp remained tight-lipped, only fueling the frenzy further with cryptic posts that implied she had anticipated every move. Fans were caught in the middle, torn between loyalty and shock. Hashtags like #StandWithCardi and #ProtectNicki trended simultaneously, a rare moment showing that people were finally realizing how far this war had gone beyond music. The feud had transformed into a digital battlefield, where careers, reputations, and personal lives were all fair game. Rumors of unreleased footage, insider leaks, and private audio clips circulated endlessly. Some claimed a second, even more damaging video existed, one that could expose both artists simultaneously and reveal a possible industry-wide manipulation scheme. Meanwhile, blogs and verified journalists hinted at ongoing cybercrime investigations, suggesting that what started as a public rivalry might involve blackmail, hacking, and corporate sabotage. For Cardi, the numbers kept soaring. For Nicki, silence became a weapon and a shield. But everyone knew that the war wasn't over, it had simply entered a darker, more dangerous phase. And now, cousins, the real question lingers: who's really pulling the strings? Is it revenge, sabotage, or a calculated setup that neither artist saw coming? One thing's certain, the next moves could redefine hip-hop, shake the industry to its core, and expose secrets no one was ready for. Stay tuned, because in this battle of queens, only time will reveal who truly survives, and who gets burned in the fire of exposure.